Hi, fourth grade. We are going to be creating some awesome creatures inspired by an amazing artist named Joan Miro. Our creatures are going to feature the element of art shape as well as maybe some lines. We are going to be working in kind of an abstract style, and this is a fun opportunity to be rather playful with the artwork that we make. Let's get started. Alrighty, so today we are going to be creating some shape creatures inspired by Joan Miro. He is a famous artist known for his crazy shape and line creations. So we are going to utilize those elements of art to create our artwork today. You are going to want a pencil. If your eraser is not so great, maybe an eraser, a Sharpie, something to color with, a sheet of paper, and when working with that permanent marker, it's a good idea to have an extra paper underneath so it doesn't go on the table. Let's get started. So we're going to start with just that paper, the pencil, and the eraser. To create our amazing shape creatures, we're going to pick a shape to be the head. I would like you to use a combination of organic shapes, which are shapes that we would find in nature, freeform shapes, which are shapes that just don't follow any rules, and geometric shapes, shapes that follow the rules, things like circles, triangles, squares, and diamonds. I'm going to start with a shape for the head of my shape monster. Maybe I want to use kind of an organic lima bean shape. Now my monster needs a body. Maybe I use a triangle for my monster's body. That's a geometric shape. Maybe my monster has a free-form eye, a shape that doesn't follow any rules. Maybe my monster or creature here has a rectangle for a mouth. Maybe it's got some lines on this triangle that make it look a little bit more like an organic thing, like a leaf. I'm gonna need some arms. I could choose to use lines or shapes, or lines and shapes together to create my monster's arms. The same is true for my monster, my creature's legs. I could just draw a line. I could do a shape. I think I'm gonna do kind of like a big letter U that becomes like a half of an oval when it connects to the body of my creature here. Maybe my creature needs some hair, and I repeat a curly line a couple times over the top. So there's the basis of my creature. In the background, we're going to take some inspiration from Cubism, where they divide the space into angular shapes. So we're going to just draw some lines that go across the paper. When you hit something, you're going to pick up your tool, and then you'll continue on the other side. So maybe another line coming off at an angle here. And I'm just picking up my tool when I run into something, which helps make these angular shapes that I'm dividing my paper into seem like they are in the background, like they are behind my shape creature. Another thing that our artist likes to do in his artwork is, even when he's gone abstract with these shapes in the background, he likes to include a sun or a moon to indicate whether it's day or night. So you can do that as well. I think I'm gonna go with a crescent moon, and maybe I include some star shapes surrounding my fun little creature here. When you are all done with your pencil, you feel good about your marks, you are going to put your protective paper underneath and grab your permanent marker and trace over the top. Once you have traced your creature and you've erased those pencil lines, you are good to start coloring. You may color using paint, you may color using crayons, you may color using colored pencils or regular markers. Make sure as you are coloring that you're really taking your time and being thoughtful with the way that you color. So think about the direction that your mark is making. Try to make them nice and even. This is a way that we can show great craftsmanship with our tools. So I'm continuing to keep my crayon going in the same direction. I'm keeping my marks nice and close to each other and filling in the entire space, doing my best to keep myself inside the lines. If I wanted to come back in and add in another layer to get darker values of this color, I could do that. So for instance, maybe I come in along the edge here to make it look like this is more of a shadow. I want you to take your time and fill in the whole thing with color. When you're all done, make sure that you post a picture to our Seesaw activity. I can't wait to see what you create.